Okay, so you're saying your biggest concerns right now about the fracking industry and what it's doing?
Yeah, my biggest concern right now is the possibility, the risk of water contamination. We live in a place called Torbert Village, which is right along Pine Creek, about 3 miles up from where it enters into the Susquehanna River. And Pine Creek goes right by my home. The industry, Anadarko and Pennsylvania General Energy, are in the mountains right around where I live. And if anything, if the water up there is contaminated, the runs come right down into Pine Creek, and then Pine Creek right into the Susquehanna. So I own a home that's almost $300,000. We own it, and my concern is if the water gets contaminated, if our well gets contaminated, then my property value will plummet. So that's my main concern. The main headache right now for the past 4 years, 4+ years, has been the extremely heavy truck traffic that goes up Route 44, 2-lane state road, through Pine Creek Valley, which is well known for its 62-mile-long rail trail, which I bicycle all the time, and fly fishing, kayaking. It's a vacation land, and now they have the fracking industry there, and nothing, frankly, seems to be sacred anywhere in north central Pennsylvania where I live.
And to you, is there any kind of regulatory structure that could help prevent, the stuff from hurting the environment, or do you think it just needs to be a straight-up moratorium that's really essential?
Well, I think DEP has been the best at trying to regulate, but what's happened with violations where I live, it's fines, not terribly a lot of money for the fines, but they built a water withdrawal site 2 miles up from my house out of Pine Creek and violated 4 items on their permit, the company that built that, and they were finally, that was over 2 years ago, they were finally fined, I think it was like $35,000 or something like that. I would like to see something like an ombudsman, perhaps, for fossil fuel, or more specifically for the fracking industry, hydraulic fracturing industry, that could hold them more accountable and be willing to investigate and perhaps even instigate lawsuits for violations to help the people.
That's something, too, I actually just last week, John Hanger, the former DEP secretary, he called for that very thing, for a citizens ombudsman office, and kind of increasing the staff. Do you think that's something that you would?
I definitely support that. Yeah, I mean that kind of thing has been suggested way back in 1970 by a writer by the name of Alvin Toffler, a book called Future Shock. He actually, it was a year after Barry Commoner came out with his blockbuster book on the dangers of the super technology, as they called them back then. So yeah, I would definitely support a powerful position on ombudsman.
One of the criticisms from what I'm hearing, the basis of a lot of the rallies today, were that some of these lawmakers are in some ways kind of picking and choosing when they choose to support a moratorium instead of calling really for a statewide one, maybe for fear of not having enough political support in certain areas of the state. Is that something that you've observed, or how do you feel about how the lawmakers have been handling the issue thus far?
Going all the way down from President Obama, who I voted for twice, he's just recently made some strong statements to try to take care of the fear of climate change. And yet he's a strong supporter, from everything I've heard, of the hydraulic fracturing industry for natural gas. He seems to look at that as the way out. And I think that's, from what I've read quite widely, I think there's a great deal of pollution potential from the deep well drilling and fracking for natural gas. So I think from his office and down through, it doesn't seem to matter, from what I've experienced, it doesn't seem to matter Democrat or Republican. Governor Rendell really was the one who opened up a third of the state forests, Democrat, and Governor Corbett has certainly not tried to regulate, in my view, the gas industry anymore. So I'm very disappointed in even local levels. I ran for supervisor in my Watson Township, Lycoming County, 2 years ago. I won on a write-in, the Green campaign, but when I got involved with the other two supervisors, I saw that they were not against the fracking industry, and I had no power. So I actually resigned in protest and been devoting myself to actually this sort of thing, trying to get the word out of what's really happening from someone who's living right there at ground zero. So yeah, I wish it would change. I think we really need, well, what do I want to call it? We need a worldview change. We need to get away from just being concerned about economics, from greed, from corporate rule, basically. And I see them as having a terrible influence on many, many politicians. Will there be a worldview change? I seriously doubt it, but I'll stay against the industry and do all that I can as a writer and speaker. I've gone to New York 3 times to give presentations of what it's like to live with this industry. So I guess I'm going a little bit beyond what you wanted here, but